The Velkari Council had made their decision with absolute certainty. The human colony on Arcturus 7 had to be eliminated, and Dr. Sarah Chen was the key to its survival. Remove her, and the settlement would crumble within months. The Council's war masters had studied humanity's weaknesses extensively, catalogued every vulnerability, every fear embedded in their primitive DNA. They would send the Kreshva. The creature arrived on a moonless night, its obsidian carapace absorbing even the faint starlight that dared touch its surface. Standing 3 meters tall on 6 razor-tipped legs, the Kreshva was evolution's masterpiece of death. The Velkari had bred it over 10,000 years, refining it through countless wars, feeding it the flesh of their enemies until killing became as natural as breathing. Its neural cluster could process 100 combat scenarios per second. Its molecular claws could slice through reinforced titanium like warm butter. Sarah Chen sat in her laboratory, unaware of the doom approaching through the colony's outer perimeter. She was examining soil samples under her microscope, searching for the microorganisms that might finally allow Earth crops to flourish in Arcturus's alien Earth. At 43, her hair had begun to gray at the temples, and her eyes carried the weight of a decade spent trying to make this hostile world habitable for humanity. The Kreshva moved through the colony's streets with supernatural silence. Security drones registered nothing. Proximity alarms remained dormant. It had been engineered to be invisible to humanity's crude sensors, a ghost designed to kill and vanish. Sarah heard it before she saw it, a sound like rain on metal, the whisper of chitin against the laboratory's exterior wall. She looked up from her microscope, adjusting her glasses with soil-stained fingers. The reinforced door burst inward with a shriek of tortured metal, and the Kreshva entered her sanctuary of science. For 3 full seconds, woman and weapon regarded each other across the sterile white floor. The Kreshva's combat algorithms initiated their execution protocols. Strike at the throat, sever the spinal column, extract confirmation of termination, return to extraction point. Its muscles coiled, preparing for the killing lunge that had never failed in 863 previous assassinations. Sarah Chen did something the Velkari War Masters had never programmed into their simulations. She smiled. Not the fearful grimace of prey facing its end, but the genuine expression of someone encountering something wonderful and unexpected. "Oh, you magnificent creature," she whispered, her voice carrying no trace of terror. "Look at you." The Kreshva hesitated. In its 10 years of existence, no prey had ever responded with wonder. Fear, yes. Anger occasionally. Defiance from the foolishly brave. But this emotion radiating from the human female registered as something entirely foreign in its threat assessment matrices. Sarah slowly stood, her movements careful but unafraid. "They sent you to kill me, didn't they?" She took a step forward. The Kreshva's battle logic screamed warnings, but its body remained frozen in confusion. "You're far from home. I can see it in your posture. The gravity here is wrong for you, isn't it? Too heavy. Your homeworld must be lighter." Another step. The creature's claws twitched but didn't strike. "I've been studying xenobiology for 20 years, Sarah continued, her voice soft and steady. "I know a biological weapon when I see one, but I also know suffering." She pointed to the creature's left middle leg where a microscopic tremor betrayed damage. "That joint is deteriorating, probably from being forced to adapt to atmospheres your body wasn't designed for. They're using you up, aren't they? Tool to be discarded when broken." The Kreshva's neural cluster struggled to reconcile its programming with this unprecedented situation. Eliminate the target. But the target was offering understanding. The concept didn't exist in its experiential database. Sarah knelt slowly, making herself smaller, less threatening. "I won't hurt you. I know you're here to hurt me, but I won't hurt you. You're just following your nature. They made you this way." She extended one hand, palm up, in the universal gesture of peace that transcended species. "But maybe you can choose a different nature, just for tonight." The laboratory fell silent except for the hum of machinery and the dual rhythm of 2 very different heartbeats. The Kreshva's combat subroutine cycled through every scenario, finding no precedent, no protocol. Its creators had engineered the perfect predator but had forgotten that perfect predators were still living. Beings capable of recognition, of response beyond mere programming. Sarah remained kneeling, hand extended, for 17 minutes. She spoke during that time, her voice weaving stories of Earth, of animals she'd known, of a childhood dog named Cooper who'd been afraid of thunderstorms. She spoke of loneliness on alien worlds, of the ache for connection, of the courage it took to be gentle in a universe that rewarded violence. When the Kreshva finally moved, it wasn't with the explosive violence of its training. It approached slowly, its massive head lowering until it was level with Sarah's face. Its compound eyes, designed to track the fastest prey, studied her with something approaching curiosity. The molecular claws that could dismantle starship hulls retracted carefully, consciously. Sarah touched its carapace with trembling fingers. Warm. Alive. Beneath the armor of bioengineered death beat the heart of something that had never been offered kindness. "You can stay if you want," she whispered. "No more killing. No more being someone's weapon. Just rest." The Kreshva's neural cluster made a choice that would puzzle xenobiologists for generations. It settled onto the laboratory floor, its 6 legs folding beneath its body. And for the first time in its existence, it slept without dreams of death. That was how the security team found them 3 hours later. Dr. Sarah Chen asleep in her chair, her hand resting on the head of the galaxy's most feared predator, which lay curled at her feet like an enormous lethal house cat. The Velkari Council never sent another assassin. Word spread through the interstellar community of what had happened, and it carried a message that resonated through 1,000 worlds. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their tenacity. It was their inexplicable, illogical, utterly unshakable belief that anything could be saved, understood, and loved. Even apex predators, especially apex predators.